Hello, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party, and this is my alphabet, my first font one in this series, and pretty cool. If you rotate around the X, like it's really neat because you get to see it. You can kind of see it backwards and stuff like that, which is cool. I think that is so cool. And now I can rotate around the Y, which is cool. And then let's just reload so we can center everything up again. So I think that's cool. I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty interested, or I'm pretty like stimulated. I guess is probably the best way to do it. So like I can imagine words flying by, spinning around. It's really cool. Anyways, was a little weird. There's like a bit of a so there's pretty significant changes to the base to do this, and that's because okay, first of all, I had to find this regular hype typeface, and actually, you know what? I was thinking I needed. Okay, so anyways, that's a new file. It's a font. It's a JSON file that seems to describe things. I've never taken a good look at it. Does it not particularly easy to really understand. Um, it's not. I don't think it was. It was probably more designed to be like compressed and use as little space as possible, as opposed to being like something for human consumption. This, so we had to use this thing called a font loader and a text geometry. And then we told it to get, okay, so at first I was trying to do this constructor thing and it ended up not being necessary. Let me get rid of this extra space just so it's not a bit of, it's because it's just a small distraction. But basically, we need to use our front loader and then we need to create the group. And this is the tricky part because at first, what I was trying to do is I was trying to create the group like here on line 87, and it wasn't working. And the reason it wasn't working is because this is an asynchronous call. So what happens is when we called create group, it gets this add group to scene before this gets loaded. Now, so you might be saying, well, then why does it still work? And it's because this group gets added to the scene, but it exists, right? It already exists, and then we add um, this geometry to the group or this mesh to the group. So even the group already exists, and then we add the mesh to the group, and then um, 3GS just seems to handle it. It seems to update that. It seems to recognize because probably when it first drew, it probably didn't have anything. It was probably blank because it didn't have anything. So it didn't throw an error or anything. It just said, okay, yeah, this group is doesn't exist. Oh, see, we actually do create a new group when we first create this. So there's a group, and then we actually create a new group here. And so once we create the new group and we add the new group to this, and then we call this, and then we add the new group to the scene. And oddly enough, at this point, it probably can't draw anything because this is probably not this loading has not happened yet. So that was interesting. And that would not work that way with all like it would. I guess because it wouldn't surprise me if something was broken, because it wasn't loaded. Probably it would have been, yeah. So, anyways, but it works fine. It's it's fine. It works great. That's one of the real benefits of JavaScript. I was thinking that well, the next one I'll do will probably be like Helvetiker underscore bold typeface.json. I do want to update this README though. No, I guess no. What I want to do is I want to add a README in here. So new file. How do we do this? I think it's all caps, right? I guess it'll be easy enough to fix. .md. Is that how we do it? Yeah. And then in here, I'm just gonna say, oh, I don't even need this patriotic JPEG anymore. But I'm gonna say, do this. See, it's in here in 3JS, and then it's in something called example and fonts. If I remember, oh, and then there's a bunch in here too. There's Droid. I don't know what that is. Ken Pixel TFF. What about M plus? Oh, and here's another M plus rounded 1C. What is this? I'm curious. Font subvert. Um, so this is the license apparently. All right. Oh, I did not want to do that. What I want to do is I want to take this guy right here. I'm just gonna say copy path. And I'm gonna close this one. Font. The font was copied. Font file from. And we probably don't need all of this from node modules. There we go. And that was just a copy. That's where we copied it from. I didn't really play around with these at all, size and depth and all that. And then I don't know if this center is necessary. I guess we should try that real quick. Okay, yeah, that's right. So it's center. If you don't center it, it ends up like A ends up at the beginning. So centered probably works better. I like centered a little better. Now, if you don't center it, and I don't, yeah, that was something I didn't know about. And then if you like, let's say you rotate around the Y, it goes like that, which is pretty cool. And you might want that. Like it's not surprising if you want that. And I remember my other one actually not knowing about the center thing and having to like calculate the width and slide it over. So this geometry center is something I just didn't know about before. Anyway, so that will do it. I think tomorrow I'll do the bold. I guess I'll probably use this as my base mod, uh, model. The other thing I was thinking is I need to create, I want to create a different, like I love how this works, right? Like how we have this basic viewing thing. And like I think in the future I'll probably make heavy use of this exact thing because it would be great for loading like STLs or something. Like if you do load something from an external place, so then you can just use this to look at. This is like a really good viewer. So this is the basis of a great viewer. But what I will also want is like a timer. And I guess the general idea is that it would go through an array of of groups maybe, and like on some define, maybe here's what that's what you define as how often it rotates from group to group to group to group. um, I think that would be pretty cool. Anyways, so that's that. We'll be uploading this momentarily and put in a link to the repo. Anyways, happy coding everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.